Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Rebirth with our level 31 mutation Stalker Shrike, who has 1.45 million experience, 172,000 to go to get to level 32, and then we will put a whole new set of enhancements in our powers, and we'll get our final attack power. And we have over 16 million, almost 17 million influence. We're working on a story arc for Philippa Moreau against the Cray, and she says she just got a call from Ken Kellerman, who says he now remembers everything, but even though his memory's back, he's afraid. Um, she's afraid there's a lot of trouble over it. Apparently, he started asking the wrong people what happened, and now he thinks that Cray security is after him. Can I extract him? And these guys are super evil. So we got to go to Fault Line, which should be a quick hop. Let's see, where are we? We're in Talos Island. I'm going to pause this here, guys, and I'll bring us back when we are in Fault Line, ready to rescue Ken. Okay, we are back. We are in Fault Line. The mission indoor is pretty close, so I decided to unpause it here. And in we go. This is pretty cool music, too. I like this. This is also music you hear in Boomtown. We haven't done any Fault Line missions. I guess in our next character we're going to have to decide not only what archetype and power sets we're going to do, but also whether we want to go on the regular Paragon City missions or whether we want to do something like do the Hollows into Fault Line kind of story arcs, Croatoa. Hate when I miss that. So we have to think about kind of how we want to do that. Stop slowing me down. There was no point to doing hasten there. So we have to decide, do we want to do, what is it, the Hollows? What's after the Hollows? I'm trying to think. There's another spot, I think, besides Fault Line. I know we got Hollows, we got Fault Line, we got Croatoa. Oh, and Striga Isle, which might be after Fault Line. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it is. So I think it goes Hollows, Fault Line, Striga, Croatoa. So we could do those storylines. I did do them, some of them on Silver Phoenix, and some of them on Liberty Last, but I don't think I did any of them all together on one character. It's sort of an alternate trajectory of contacts and stuff compared to... Oh, I didn't see him. Compared to going through Kings Row to Steel Canyon Skyway City to Talos. So we have to think about how we want to do that. I don't actually like those newer story arcs as much as the old ones, but I don't want to keep giving the same content over and over again with just different characters. I mean, there is some value to that, in the sense that you can see how, say, a Stalker plays compared to a Brute compared to a Dominator. But on the other hand, I don't know that we want to go through every story arc. On the other hand, we could do villains. We could make up a villain and do that side of things. And that actually might be more attractive than doing Hollows again. Because I have done that before with Liberty Lash. You can see that on the Liberty Lash playlist if you want. I didn't get to finish her, obviously, because of the rules about not posting things about Homecoming, but I do believe we got through the Hollows. I'm not sure if I posted the Fault Line stuff, though. I think I did some, but not all of it. So we have a couple of things. We've done all of Praetoria with this character. We've done all of the sort of original vanilla stories with Silver Phoenix. We could potentially do villains with our next character and then do the Hollows to Fault Line through Croatoa stream with the next character after that, assuming everybody wants to keep watching. Not sure if that's going to be the case. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments what you think. I'm leaning toward villain at this point, and I'm leaning toward probably a classical villain archetype like this one. Obviously, I'm not going to do Stalkers again. That would be silly. But the archetypes that are the most interesting to me at this point are probably Brute. Agent Tyler, okay. Why did I come up here, by the way, guys? Because the guys underneath generally don't look up and see what's going on above, but the guys above often will look down and see what's going on down, and you get ads, which is extra enemies. So Brute, Dominator. I started one and did a whole bunch of villain stuff with a Dominator that I can't post because of the rules Homecoming put out. So we could do Dominator, we could do Brute, we could do Corruptor, or we could do Mastermind. Those are really the four that I'm leaning toward. The only hero AT that I haven't gone very far with is the Tanker. And I already did a bunch of videos with that, even though I didn't finish it. I feel like that would be pretty repetitive, and I'm not sure we need to do that. The other issue with Tankers is they really play much better on teams, whereas Brutes, Dominators, Corruptors do okay solo, and Masterminds are like soloing gods because they have their own team by controlling it. And Mastermind might be super awesomely cool, and if I were going to pick of those four, I would go Mastermind or Brute, but I'm willing to do any of them. And so I'm willing to like put it up to a vote. Not in the comments of this video. I will do that as we get closer to level 50. Put it up to a vote and see what people want. We got a clue, and the clue says there's a map on the whiteboard to where Ken Kellerman was hiding from Cray security forces. It shows a location in Kings Row, and the map is signed with the letters KK. Alright. So at some point when we get into the late 40s, maybe when we hit level 50, I will ask people what you want to see next. We're not necessarily going to do it right at 50 for this character because I do want to do some Incarnate stuff, and probably I'm enjoying this character so much that I'd like to probably do it with her. It's possible I might enjoy other characters more and want to do it with them too, but the security chief and his men. Oh, I missed these guys. Yeah, I went right past them so I could do the upstairs, and then I forgot they were here. So yeah, we'll have to see what people want to do, and I can probably be happy with any of the four archetypes I mentioned because they're quite. All of them they're not scrappers, but they're very aggressive. The Brute is incredibly aggressive because you have to keep your fury up, which means you've got to go quickly from one guy to the next. So we're going to definitely want to have very tough defense and a really good offensive set for the Brute. The Dominator starts out passive until you start getting more of your attacks and holds in, but by level like 24 or so, becomes incredibly aggressive. Not sure if I would want to redo the Plant Thorn Dominator. I do have access to her name on this server, the correct name Biome. So I might want to do that, but I've also done 25 levels with her again and 43 levels in live and never done another Dominator, so I might be willing to give a couple of options for the choices for power sets within Dominator, and we'll see. If we do a Mastermind, it'll almost certainly be a Beastmaster because I think they're cool. I know they're supposedly quote-unquote gimped, but I think they're really super awesome, and like having pet wolves and lions and stuff is just so cool. And that's if that's available. I don't know. That might be Homecoming only. I'd have to look. If we're doing Corruptor, I have no idea what I would do. I did try a Fire Ice Corruptor at one point to replace the Fire Ice Tanker I had once had, and found that Fire Ice was really not a good combo because a lot of the things, like the slowdowns that Ice did, if you then hit with Fire, the slowdown went away because you warmed them up. So I wouldn't want to do Ice Fire, but I might do Fire something else. And so I don't know what we do with Brute. I said it before, and I might like to do something like a stone fire type guy where he's like a volcano. That might be kind of cool. So we'll just have to see. But for now, we're working on our Stalker, and we need to call Philippa, who says it looks like these minesweepers already captured Ken Kellerman, but at least he was able to give us a map. Like, what these guys didn't notice the map. There were like 8 guys in that room. Nobody bothered to look at the whiteboard. I guess the idea is supposed to be I killed them all or knocked them all out before they got to the whiteboard, but they were all just standing there waiting for me, so I don't know. Anyway, if you're lucky, you can get to him in time to save him. So Kellerman may have been captured by Cray Security, but at least he was resourceful enough to leave us a map. It leads to a Cray facility controlled by Dr. Amadeo Giacomo, a specialist in electrochemical functions of the brain. Tiger Shrike, you remember Kellerman's erratic activity, don't you? Erratic memory, don't you? How he couldn't even remember his own wife? Well, I think Giacomo developed some mind-disrupting equipment. Yeah, he brainwashed him, right? So now we got to go to King's Row. So we just need to go to the monorail. And I can't see anything because it's still really bright in my house. But there's the train station. Perfect. And we'll now go to King's Row, guys, and don't know if this is the end of the story arc or not. I feel like there's more to it than this, but maybe not. There are other Cray story arcs as you get into the higher levels, too. If this is the end of the story arc, we'll be, what, a level and a half in and 2 level 31 contacts down? No? Or is she the first level 31 contact? No, Jose. So that's 2 down and 3 to go, so we might be only level 34 or so, 34 and a half by the time we finish them, which would give us time to do one of these other contacts like the Pilgrim or Provost Marchand. But in the meantime, we are still doing Philippa's story arc, which sends us to this part of King's Row. I like this music too. I really love the City of Heroes music. I think I like it just objectively. I think it's just got a neat beat to it. It's I think they chose really well from the music they had available to them, however they found it or produced it. They chose really well as to the fit for the zones. I think they fit really well with the different districts of the town of the zone, right? But I also love the music because when I hear it, it makes me think of City of Heroes, right? I remember when the game first came out again, or first came out in clandestinely, right, on these private servers, and I started playing again, and I heard just the music of the login screen and the music of Atlas Park and the music of Perez Park and everything. I was thrilled. I mean, like, hearing the music much more than seeing the UI, much more than clicking buttons, much more than reading information on the contact and clue screen. Hearing that music made me feel like I am in City of Heroes, and it was really wonderful, and I love it. One of the best parts of the game is the music. They did a really nice job on the style of this game, both in terms of, you know, just the music, the visual effects, the sound effects, the way the factions are designed. I think all the factions are really well done. Particularly, I like the Richti and the Nemesis factions. I'm a big fan of the Devouring Earth. I love the Fifth Column. Not as much a fan of the Council, but I do love the Fifth Column. And I always love fighting Nazis. I mean, it's super fun. And it's a classical superhero thing to do, and that's the other thing I really like, is they really tried to put the classical superhero stuff into this game, rescuing kidnapped victims and fighting giant evil LexCorp style corporations, and you know, fighting evil Nazis and all this stuff, that robots, crazy wind-up toy robots, and just all of that kind of stuff, which you often see in the comic books, they put into the game. They did a really nice job with it, and this game feels like no other game. It's got a great style to it. It's not, unlike, say, Champions Online, which I don't like, which I feel is highly stylized. This game isn't highly stylized, and yet it has a nice style to it. I love the UI. Absolutely love the UI. Best UI of any MMO I've ever played. Particularly the way these buttons work, the way they animate. One of the really smart decisions I think they made that I think other game companies have not done, because they're trying to kind of show themselves as having better graphics. But one of the really fantastic decisions that was made by the COH developers is that these... Oh, great, I aggroed him. That's unfortunate. The COH developers were smart enough, and I've mentioned this before, they were smart enough to make it so that the the icons for the hot buttons are, I don't want to say, what's the word, not cartoon, but just sort of like line drawings, right? Or not even line drawings, they're just symbols. Oh, this guy is going to be fun. We're probably going to need instant healing for this. But they're just symbols. They're generic symbols. They're a certain color for the power. And they all look the same. So your medium-sized attack is a medium-sized circle, and your big attack is a big circle. And your AoE looks like a cone or whatever. And so the advantage of that is you can tell at a glance what things are. A lot of the more newer games, what they did was they made the hot buttons be like actual like drawings, like cartoon drawings. So you have a picture, your punch is a picture of a guy punching someone, and it's this tiny little miniature, like miniature comic book panel that's this size in here, and I'm sorry, I can't tell what the heck that is. It's just too small. And they're often like multicolored. Instead of being just like red and white, they're designed to be like to look like an actual comic book panel with a character punching another character, you know, a certain blue background, a character in a full costume, his fist, flesh color, hair, eye color, and everything in this tiny little picture. And I think they think, oh, that makes it look like better graphics, but to me, it's much less distinctive. It's harder to see. Oh, come on. It's harder to see what you're clicking on. Now, what a lot of people don't care, right, about that, because what they're doing is they memorize the numbers and they just press 1, 2, 3, 4. But I use the visuals down here to tell me which power I'm actually clicking on. And I need to see that. And if they're not differentiated by color or by something very clear, it's much harder for me. And so I actually prefer that design choice for City of Heroes. And they're also very clean about the colors, red versus yellow versus blue versus green, not just for the inspirations, but even oftentimes for the powers. So a lot of times the attack powers are a reddish or an orangish, right, or a pinkish. Like for martial arts, it's pink, fire is orange, this is red. So you're doing damage or attack, whereas healing powers are going to have some kind of greenishness to them. And so they do a lot to help you visually just quickly get what is it am I clicking on. And I really like that. And it's something that a lot of other games don't do, and I feel like a lot of games shied away from doing this very sort of simple symbols because they thought that it wasn't, like, quote-unquote good enough graphically, you know, and they were trying to make a game with better looking, what would you call it, modern graphics or whatever. Man, they are just hitting me like crazy and I can't hit them. There we go. So yeah, I really like the design of the UI, I like the design of the buttons, I like the way the buttons animate. I think they're visually, this is much nicer where it gets small and then gets larger and then flashes and wakes back up. Much better than the typical one is it fades like that, and then you see like a little animation where, like a clock, where it comes back. And I don't find that as visually easy on my eyes as the way City of Heroes does it. So I just really like the design of how the toggle, the little circle around the toggle, I think that's also very distinctive. They did a nice job on most of this. I also like how they set the faction name under here, but you don't see it here. which keeps it nice and clean. I like that they make the name be the color of the con. I've seen a lot of games where the names are all in whatever color, like white, and then the con is like a little red or yellow dot next to them. One of the games I played, like whether it was a like lieutenant or a boss, was how many dots, so you'd have the name, and it was one dot was like one red dot is a red conning minion, two red dots it's a red conning, whatever you want to call it, lieutenant. I found that much less, just much less, much slower to pick up. Like, just clearly the people who designed City of Heroes said something along the lines that we want people to be able to see at a glance what's going on, right? So I don't need to look at the number of dots and everything. I can see clearly boss and he's purple. That tells me everything I need to know. This is going to be a tough fight, right? And I know that because of just the information is just, to me, so much easier. It just presented in a much more user-friendly, at-a-glance kind of a way, and I like that. Look at this. Man, they are pounding me. See if we can take this guy out. That's not good. Let's hit Hasten to speed things up. Still can't hit, so I'll do another accuracy. Alright, now let's placate. And once we're hidden, try to assassinate. Got him. So yeah, I just find this... And you know, you could say it's because I'm used to it, but honestly, even coming back to the game after like 10 years, I still felt this way. I just find the way they do everything to be so intuitive. And I just think they made it really easy to intuitively grasp what's going on in the game, what the danger level is. I've never, ever, ever been unable to tell that I was in over my head or doing something too easy in City of Heroes. And in a lot of other games, I've gotten in over my head completely by accident. One thing City of Heroes does that games used to do back then but don't as much do anymore is the missing. Right? It used to be in most games that you had to roll to hit, just like D&D, because these games owe their lineage to Dungeons and Dragons, right? But, and other similar role-playing games, Champions, Dungeons and Dragons, you have to roll to hit. But in City of Heroes, probably in EverQuest, man, there's a lot of bosses in here. In City of Heroes, probably in EverQuest, and in a lot of other earlier games, you had to roll to hit. And you might hit, and you might not, and so... Oh, another geneticist. Darn it! I didn't realize there were two of them, and I missed him, so I couldn't interrupt him. This is going to be a pain. Man, they hit a lot. And I can't hit at all. Finally. And I think this guy's debuffing me, which is why I can't hit. So in any case, hitting. To hit, missing. Alright, enough. I can't take it. I still can't hit. You've got to be kidding me. With two of them running. So, I don't like to miss. On the other hand, because people don't like to miss, a lot of more modern MMOs, after City of Heroes, instituted systems where you always hit and you never missed. And I remember playing some of them and going, wait a minute, am I like literally never missing here? I guess not, right? And let's placate. So until we take this guy out. And I don't know that I like that either, just hitting every single time. But that's definitely something that a lot of other games do and have done since City of Heroes and some of the earlier ones, right? That I guess people hate to miss, so they just say, okay, everybody hits every time. The villains hit you every time, and you hit them every time. We definitely need to recharge Placate faster. Because it's still not up, and I need to Placate him again. But it's up now. I didn't mean to hit the build-up. That was a misclick. Man, I thought these guys were tough on my martial arts scrapper. I cannot hit. And I'm gonna run out of endurance. So what are they doing here? I'm trying to hit them and see what the damage reduction is, and I can't even hit to tell that. 35, so this guy has like 70% damage resistance. Oh, great. That's just great. I ran out of endurance, so I'm gonna die. Let's put integration back on. So the problem here, of course, is that he's +3. Critting him is good. Double critting is very good. We might beat him now. I had to use every inspiration in the tray to beat this guy. Yeah, I made some mistakes, of course. So yeah, the missing is something that they took out of a lot of MMOs. I'm pretty sure. Would you please rest? What is wrong with this thing? I'm pretty sure that, if I remember right, the Star Wars The Old Republic did not have any missing in it at all. And I noticed that after a while, like my character, I'm pretty sure never missed. And now I can't stop the rest. What is wrong with this thing? Alright, so now there's going to be another Cray Protector, and we're going to have to fight him with no inspirations, which is going to suck. So let's see if we can collect some inspirations by coming over here. Fight some lower con guys, and see if we can get some inspirations that way. These guys are all, has this whole entire mission been +3? A lot of it has. Right, and this is why you definitely don't want to set it on +3, because these guys would be +4s, and I would not have survived that. We're getting an awful lot of XP. Every time I think, let's see what the damage resistance is, I miss. See, again, I'm trying to do it on focus because I know that's about 100 damage. But every time I try, I miss. Okay, what was that number? I didn't even see it fast enough. 95% chance to hit with Assassin's Claw. We have a 67% chance to hit, and we were missing that much. That's just pathetic. And we got no inspirations of any use, which is unfortunate. So let's see. I did this again. 71, so that's about 30% damage resistance. I don't know if that's level based or just that they're that resistant. Let's see, 71 out of 108. So that's like 40% lethal resistance. Wow. So there's guys down below, guys up above. These guys up above will aggro to me. I've got a little bit more in terms of inspiration, but not much. Hoping to get a few more. Didn't get one there. This guy isn't noticing me up here that's sitting on a box? Guess not. Critted him. Knock him down. So, yeah, I mean, feel free to leave comments. Do you prefer games where you can miss? Or do you prefer games where you just hit all the time? I mean, obviously, if we hit all the time, then everybody would have to have a lot more damage resistance. And you wouldn't be able to play like a reflex scrapper, because you wouldn't be able to be missed, right? And I was smart enough this time to find the geneticist first. So we got a few inspirations. It's helping a little bit. So what's this debuff doing? Yeah, minus def, minus accuracy. So that's why then you get hit constantly, right? Because he's making your defense go down, and he's debuffing your accuracy. And then you just have to stand there and be debuffed until you can finally hit him. Oh, and there's two of them doing it to me. Yeah, and my reflex scrapper, obviously that would be very painful, but I think with her, she had so much defense at that point that at least it wasn't turning her defense negative. So we got a few inspirations. That's not going to be enough. And we're probably going to die against this boss. I don't see any other bad guys in here. So the question is there some way to rescue Ken without having to fight that boss? Or is there a way we can go past him? Nope, Ken's right there. 2 Kellermans to rescue. Okay, so my recollection is you've got to lead these guys out, right? So maybe we should rescue her, start leading her out, and then fight the boss. And there she is. So that's not going to help. I don't know that we have to defeat the rest of these guys, but there aren't, so maybe they can give us a couple of inspirations here. Yep, see we got one, just not a useful one. And you can see somebody from above aggroed us, so this is what I mean by if you attack the guys above, they sometimes don't aggro, but if you attack the guys below, they do. So he's taking 27 damage from this out of 44, so 17/44. Yeah, that's about 40% damage resistance. So we've got a little bit. We've got one of each inspiration that will help. The endurance is going to help a lot against those bosses. And the heal will help, and the sturdy will help a little bit, not too much. It's just not enough to really do much. It'll put our resistance up to about 21%, which is nice. I'd rather have a couple lucks. Oh, 2 sturdies. Now that's getting up there in terms of resistance now. So what I'm basically doing is farming this mission for inspirations to try and prepare for this battle against the boss. You would not be able to do this if you weren't a Stalker, because you would never be able to get past those 2 bosses without being seen. Yeah, let's finish these guys off too. We might be able to get a couple of more inspirations. Not there. Let's hope we get at least one. Maybe one more endurance or something, or one more heal. All 3 of our heals are back too, which is good. Come on. And now this guy. And we got more. Here we go. Got another endurance. That's good. Okay, so that's enough to fight the first boss, I think. We've got to make sure to placate him. I've got to run hasten. Oh, this medic, I'm going to have to take him out first, actually, which is really annoying. But he'll just keep healing this guy. Fortunately, I don't have to waste a build-up on him, which is good. the sturdies going. And we got an extra endurance from killing the guy too, which is awesome. Okay, so placated him. And now build up. Assassinate. Come on. I hate when it does that. See, we only do a tiny little bit of damage to him. And he's also only a +2 boss instead of +3, so we should hit him more. I'm going to try not using the yellow if I can avoid it, so that I have it in place for the guy downstairs who I think is a +3. Oh, now it's going to be harder to hit him because of the shield. We'll see if we can do it without. No, it doesn't look like it. He must be damaging my endurance when he hits me also. Because it looks like it's going down every time he hits me. Okay, we got build up again, that's good. If we had that thing 3-slotted, we would have much less trouble. Okay. We got another inspiration. We don't have any enhancements we can use. Now we have to lead her out, but we're going to have to fight. Okay, she lost me. That's perfect. That's perfect. That means that she will not be able to follow me when I'm hidden. So I'm going to bring her down the elevator, and then I'm going to hide so that she loses me, so that she can't get attacked by them, and then I will go fight them and then come back and get her. I feel like this is a lot better than trying to lead him out, come all the way back in, and then lead her out. We can lead them out together. See, she lost me. Perfect. That's what I want. And there's this guy. Now, he is +3, so he's going to be really tough. But we'll do our best. That's a riot guard. I think I'm going to actually take him out first, too. That worked really well last time, so we don't have them pounding on us. And now we build up, and we start smacking this guy. Now he's going to try to slow me, but fortunately we have hasten going, so that's good. Let's throw on this sturdy, help our resistance a little bit. Try to do a little more damage. Placate. Throw in instant healing, because that'll run for about 1.5 minutes. And that's it. We're out of inspirations. All we can do is buff our endurance. And I'm about to become unable to hit him unless buildup is up. So we may not be able to win this fight. I may have to go to the hospital, die, you know, and then come back with a whole tray of Lux and yellows. Because this is going to take forever. Yeah, he's got like 60% resistance to me. Alright, let's placate. And now that we're hidden, Assassin's Claw. Come on. Do it. Missed. Unbelievable! Just unbelievable. The one shot I had to finally beat this guy, and I missed him. So now we will die. Yep. I mean, I'm going to try not to, because there's no point to not trying to beat him, because if we die, we'll just go back to the hospital and be able to get a bunch of inspirations. If I run out, I'm going to have to run somewhere and get a bunch of inspirations anyway. So now I got to watch the endurance here, which means I'm going to have to slow down. Oh, placate, that's what we want. Missed him again. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is incredibly frustrating, and it's all because he's +3. If he were +2, he'd be dead already. Well, let's hasten. Speed things up. That helped. Now I gotta be very slow about this because I don't have the endurance to keep going. And see, the misses... Yep, that's gonna kill me. Placate. Maybe we survive. Yep. Just barely. We're just barely surviving. Well, that takes all the endurance, that's the problem. This is going to be very close. See, missing that is what's killing me. And now I'm going to die. Yep. It's all the misses. So what I'm going to do is just get a whole tray of yellows and purples, and that'll do it. He won't be able to hit me, and I'll be able to hit him. So that's all entirely because of two things. One is I definitely asked for bosses in missions because I want them. I wouldn't want him to be a lieutenant, it'd be too easy. But I also asked for +2, and we got +3. So, that's what? 72% defense? I mean, that's what's killing me is well, you know what? We need some endurance too. Let's get just 2 of them. I don't want too much endurance because I really want to be able to hit. And we're going to need to be able to run 2 or 3 of them at once because they're only +7.5%. And he's probably got me... See, he's got me at 23%. So to bring that back up, we're going to need to down like 3 of them at a time. And that'll get us at least back up to 50-50. Alright guys, I'm going to pause it. I'll bring you back when we're there. And we'll do that last fight. Alright, we are back. And this should be fairly easy because he's already hurt. He can't hit me now. Right, because I have 39% defense, so his chance to hit should be much lower. Take off super speed. Notice if he doesn't have that shield thing on, we can hit him. Right, the main thing is when he puts on that deflector shield, it's impossible. And he's so incredibly, what, 75% or something resistant to 68% something resistant to. Alright, so now we will turn off hide. We will go get Kimberly. Come on. You can see each other now. It would be nice if they, like, hugged each other or something. Sweetheart, you know. I don't think there are any ambushes here. Oh, we got a big luck. That is awesome. Extreme luck or whatever, 33%, so that one by itself would really help. So we can't use super speed here because they'll get lost, and we can't turn on hide because they'll get lost. Oh, and there's the ambush. Okay, well that's fine, it's just guys, it's not a boss. I don't think they can hurt the Kellermans. Fortunately, the ambush is only +2. So in retrospect, guys, I guess the most efficient way to do this would have been to climb out of the mission first and go get inspirations instead of trying to farm them and not getting a perfect set, but we came really close to beating that guy. I mean, he was down to like that much when he killed us. And if I had just had one more endurance pill, we would have been able to hit him fast enough that he would have lost. But, oh well. Wasn't too bad. And didn't take that much time. Now I'm going to go down this way because I don't think they can go over the railings. They often have trouble with that. They should be okay coming down there, the ramp. And then we lead them out. And the Kellermans are united. Ken and Kimberly Kellerman. We got a clue. Ken's story. I remember everything now. Seeing Kimberly that restored my memory. Even though I couldn't clearly remember her, I knew she must be important. I think Cray tried to brainwash me to keep me from leaving the company. See, Kimberly wanted me to move upstate so we could be closer to her mother. I was willing to relocate, but I guess Cray figured I was too vital to their team. That must be why they tried to kill Kimberly in the first place. Now that my memory's back, I can tell you where their mind controller is. So now we know how the Cray are controlling people. They have a mind controller. Philippa says, I wonder how many of Cray's employees have undergone mind control or memory erasure, like poor Ken. At least he's reunited with his wife now in safe and protective custody. They send along their thanks. Ken's ready to come forward with everything he can about Cray's mind control process, and as soon as I've heard his statement, I'll be back to you. So obviously we're going to have to go and finish up the Cray by taking out their mind control device. But in the meantime, we have lots of enhancements for me to sell, and we have some salvage, including 2 orange salvage. I will do that off screen. We'll see how much I can earn from them, but I think you guys have seen enough of that. You don't need to see me do it again. It's been a long episode, so I'm going to stop here. I'll be back next time with another episode. We're about 3 bulbs from level 32, so soon we will have our next set of single origin enhancements and our signature power, which is Shockwave. And until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes.